And
we're probably gonna get killed for like the jokes we have around this. But
with that being said, this guy made up a great point about Forbes.
Yes. About being the most consumed genre, or hip-hop being the most consumed genre this year, surpassing rock for the first time.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, like sold more and streamed more than rock. Which I think was made up like 25%, and like rock was like 23%.
Really?
The rest was whatever, but yeah.
But I think over the last while, we've probably been getting really close to this.
Yeah.
It's not like it was like a big jump this year. It was just like kind of like
it's just the year finally crossed over.
Yeah, it finally crossed over.
Exactly.
And the thing is,
I think it's been happening for
this goes back to conversations we were having on other podcasts too, but like with the state of the music right now, that's another thing you got to realize too. It's like when it gets oversaturated, you might not like everything, but at least there's a lane for everybody.
Yeah.
And like, to go back to what we were saying about Jaden Smith too, like no disrespect on him, I definitely wouldn't say he has the hottest single of 2017, being as he dropped out when the year ends. And like, you know, it goes, but like lyrically, it's like that's not the best joint of 2017.
These other MCs are like dirty dishes. Come on.
But like, I think that goes to speak for the current state of the music too, right? Like a lot of people are feeling like Gucci Gang shit. Like, come on.
Yeah, I'm gonna start saying to people, I'm like, yo, you're like dirty dishes.
Yeah.
Like when people piss me off, be like, yo, get out of here, you fucking dirty
Man, the
dishes.
Jaden track is like,
dirty dishes.
Yo, from the time we played it on the last podcast to now, like I actually dig that joint more. It's just, it's not like.
You just tell them like, yo, you didn't even soak.
You know what? Like I would almost say like that new Joyner Lucas joint is more.
Yo, I was gonna write that down and I kept on thinking like we should, but yeah, that joint right there, like that's a big thing right now that I'm not racist.
Did you know my son redid it?
I put it on my watch later.
I didn't get a chance to check it yet.
It's on my watch later on YouTube.
And for the people watching, by the way, it's still 2017 while we do this, so don't think we're like a month and a half behind on checking. Like by this point, we've obviously heard my songs, but
yeah,
this is still 2017. So as well, keep in mind that while we talk about all these things, if something crazy happens in the next 4 weeks, then we may be proved wrong, and we will touch on that in the upcoming podcast. But
yeah, as of right now, this is
what we see as the wrap up. And y'all excited for Uncle Murda to do another wrap up?
Yeah,
I love the Murder wrap up.
He's got better every year too.
Yeah, his do get better every year.
Yeah.
And Skills used to do dope ones, but
Uncle Murder took them.
Mm-hmm.
And didn't Skills have beef with them for that too?
Yeah, and then on the last one, Uncle Murder responded.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
really.
Yeah.
He went at Kanye hard on the last one.
Yeah.
Like, I think like the first like 2-3 minutes was Kanye.
I don't think it was 2 minutes, but I feel like it was the first like.
The whole song was like 6-7 minutes. He went at Kanye for a bit there on the first part.
I heard about it.
Yeah.
That's the one with the piano beat, right? That everyone sampled in hip hop. The
Yeah.
Nick Smith and Wesson have done it. I think Mary J. Blige, or maybe they did the same joint, but like everyone's used that piano.
Yeah. Fucking, but he kills that shit, and like even, it's funny because he has like Dave East and Jadakiss in the one scene when he's rapping it, and like certain lines like you just tell like they're just like oh shit like, and like he's like I think Tiger a sucker and he's like, and they're all like me too.
Speaking of Meek too.
I didn't even say Meek, but like.
Oh, me too. Oh,
me too,
but Meek.
Yo, his situation is crazy, yo.
And he dropped a hot album this year.
Yo, that album was super hot. I have it in my.
Yeah, you were playing it when I came over earlier, and
joints like Heavy Heart, like in like 1942 flow. Issues. There's some.
It's a shame to.
And like even like he has one on there. Like I'm not even big on Lil Uzi Vert, but like on anything I've heard besides the one song on Meek, and it was fucked up on Friday. I was listening to it like right when I was like taking out money on Friday. I had it in my headphones. It's like yo, fuck that checkup. Fuck that checkup. I'm like I shouldn't be listening to this right now. Like I'm taking out money on my Friday. I shouldn't fuck this checkup.
Yeah.
But like yeah, it's a dope album. Like I really like it. And like even like from everything that was before, for him to like when I heard the title, that's what kind of like made me get interest.
That's what drew a lot of people in. Yeah.
Yeah, like wins and losses, like.
It seemed like he was finally starting to get vulnerable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's what makes a great
Like,
artist. I say that over and over again.
Heavy Heart's like
Vulnerability.
I think the second song on the album, and like if you listen to Heavy Heart, that song is like just like it's probably one of the best songs on there.
Yeah.
And then he ends with it really nice with a song called Price. It's kind of like the price of fame and price of like everything that goes along with all this shit, and like, and he didn't even diss like Drake at all. In the whole
Which
project.
is dope.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's like, I don't need to ride that wave to.
Yeah. He didn't diss Drake at all.
See, that's dope, man. And at the end of the day,
I should check that. I haven't heard it yet.
Yeah.
no, I've heard nothing but good things about the Meek album. Like I've heard some joints, but like not a well enough portion of it to give it an album overview.
Yeah.
But speaking of which, like, what
Like,
would you
there's
say
only,
were
like,
the best albums of 2017?
Well,
I know you compiled 5 of them.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna say straight up for hip hop, me it's 444.
Yeah, the JayZ one, that would be mine.
Yeah?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
see to me like it's almost like with that like
Because front to back it's a vibe. And it's sweet and short.
Yeah.
when I listened to it like the first time, like all the lines in it, I was like, yo, this is super fire. But I feel like it almost like after like a certain amount of listens, it almost like aged like milk. It was like kind of like it was dope at first, but then like the replay value, like a lot of people bring up the. I kind of find it similar to the Kendrick album of the To Pimp a Butterfly.
Yeah.
It's very lyrical, very great messaging. When you hear it the first time, you're like, oh shit, all the shit he's saying. But like overall, like later on when you're listening to it, you're like, am I gonna keep jamming to this?
Yeah.
I haven't listened to it that many times yet, so maybe.
That's how I feel about it.
I mean, that was like my album for like.
Those two albums kind of
months.
like are like kind of similar on that kind of wave of like the stuff that's being said.
Well, the thing I say about
It's
Jay's
super
album.
dope. It's super dope on both, but
The thing about Jay's album is this is like the first album he's ever really given you that doesn't have the banger on it. Like Jay-Z's always been known for his hot beats and having like a banger on every album.
Yeah.
As to where this album, he just took the artistic approach.
Yeah.
Let No ID produce the whole thing, which is dope.
Mm-hmm.
And I just loved everything about it. Like the single producer, the short track album, how everything cohesively goes together. Bam's like a banger, so like Bam is like your banger joint on there. Fuck all that pretty Sean Carter shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
He
With
spoke on a lot of real
I think the
shit.
best song
Yeah.
on that is The Story of OJ.
I would agree. Story OJ and 444 are my 2 favorite joints on there. But I like how like the Money to Your Airline, how much stuff that brought up to attention, how many people responded. Like JayZ kicked up dust with the album when he wasn't even trying to compete with nobody still.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like people felt like they had to flex back at him.
Yeah, a lot of people responded to it and whatnot.
So I feel like Impact and all that stuff, like other dudes had hot projects, even hot singles.
Some people were trying to say like it was Jay's best album.
I say it's his best since the Black album.
I would say like the Black album kills 444.
It
Yeah, I
depends
wouldn't
what
say
you're
his best
listening for.
album,
I wouldn't say it's
but-
his best album, but it's his most humble. And humility makes a great artist. Like Jay-Z needed to drop an album like this because to me, that was always my biggest criticism on him.
Moment in his career now, like that makes sense.
Yeah, but and like you look at Jay-Z too, is like he's always been the cool guy. You know what I mean? He's always played the cool guy role, which is what you love Jay-Z for. But you still need that bit of vulnerability to really connect with it. You know what I mean? You can love the cool guy, but unless you feel like you're the same as the cool guy, you never really give him your full heart. You know
I think maybe
what I mean?
like this album isn't as good as what people say, but like because he did this, it almost makes like his whole catalog,
his whole
better.
legacy,
His whole legacy better. Like I think overall, this probably did more for his legacy than it being a dope project.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but even still, it was a dope project.
Like you can almost end it with that one.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what
that's
a good way to wrap up your career.
Yeah.
Which Hope won't.
No,
He's the king of.
I hope not.
Yeah.
He's the king of retiring and coming back.
Yeah, exactly.
But that would be the place to end your career
like
on.
I was saying,
As of what you've dropped in the last 10 years, that's where you want to do it. Because after the Black album, a lot of people didn't like Kingdom Come. I liked Kingdom Come. And then
I didn't really give it a
He
chance.
had a few joints.
yeah,
like
yeah, like the first half of the album's super solid, and then it kind of slows down. But like Minority Report's dope and shit. But like,
Blueprint 3 had some good ones. Like
see, a lot of people like that album. I liked like a few joints. You know what I mean? Like every album since the Black album hasn't been fully consistent until 444. And that's why I say like it's almost like he picked up where he left off at the Black album with that.
Yeah.
It's like everything else in between has been for fun. Aside, Watch the Throne is crazy. With Kanye.
Yeah, that was a big record.
That is a big album.
So,
sure.
But for 2017, man, I give it to Hove. And I know this made the last end of last year, but Q-Tip was just going off on the Grammys for making a nomination this year, so I'm going to include it. But
he was going off about not making the nomination.
yeah, and A Tribe Called Quest, the last album,
Yeah.
that album was crazy.
So yeah, I only heard a couple of songs off it, so I can't really...
It's
the
really
songs I
dope.
heard were fire.
Yeah, the Tribe album was super dope.
Yeah, it was a really sick album.
Like,
That's nice.
super
It was
dope.
dope.
And what about, like, did you peep any other albums this year, though, that were, like, maybe more underground, anything that, like,
No, not that really.
like struck that chord?
But yeah.
I mean, Kendrick's Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Like for me, I got I got 5 written here, and I didn't put in. It just came out like we said we were filming this at a different time of it coming out, but the Fab and Jadakiss project, it just came out on last week for us right now, and like I didn't want to put it in this because it's so fresh that I don't know if it's like just because it's so fresh that I think it's so dope.
Mm-hmm.
But like it's like every song on there I like.
Really, eh?
Well, the one with French is kind of probably the worst one, but like other than that, every song is dope.
Like a joint with French Montana?
Yeah.
Word.
But like yeah, it's like I always thought I put Jadakiss just a little bit above Fab in like ranking and stuff like that. But like listening to it, like it's like there's some songs where I think Fab got him, and there's some songs where I think Jada got him.
That's dope.
And I think even like throughout it, I think maybe Jada has better punches throughout songs, but maybe like on some songs like Fab has better flow on other songs.
Yeah.
So it's like sometimes it was hard to judge who got who because it was like okay,
one killed
Jada,
the flow and the other had the bars.
yeah, one had the
I bet you Fabulous has got more shit that you probably have to think about. Though.
Yeah.
Like, you
See,
know what
Fab
I mean?
is more like, Jada's more kind of in your face and you get his
You get it
bars.
every
Yeah,
part.
yeah.
But I find Fabulous sometimes you catch
But
it
both
like,
of them-
that's what he means.
Yeah.
but I feel like they felt the pressure of like working with each other.
Yeah.
Because like
it was competition.
That's
why it's Freddie versus Jason, right?
On the intro,
I can
when I
see
first
that.
heard Fab, and I was like, well, yo, I haven't heard Fab like this in a minute. Like
Really,
I was like, whoa, like, and then I was like, and then I heard Jada come in, and I was like, he actually on the first track, like, I thought, okay, after I heard the first Fab verse, I was like, okay, like Fab has this, and then Jada went in, and I was like, no, Jada had that, because it's like Freddie versus Jason, so like it's like Fab was rapping like in his perspective of being Freddie in the intro, but I feel like you should almost get a better Jason vibe out of Jadakiss.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, it's a dope project. I didn't know where to rank it because it's so fresh, but
I'll have to check that.
It's dope.
See, my thing is I think Jada's more consistent than Fab, but Fab overall I think is better with the pen.
Yeah, I think I would agree. You just got more
Like
shit.
songs like Breathe, like
Yeah.
not every artist is gonna make Breathe, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Jadakiss has classic songs, don't get me wrong, I love Jadakiss. But I feel like Fab, when he really has an inspiration, is nicer with the pen, but Jadakiss is more consistently dope.
Yeah, I would agree. Like he puts out
Yeah.
so much like material.
Yeah, and a lot of it's
a lot
dope.
of it's dope. Yeah.
So yeah, that project was dope. And I got the Big KRIT. As far as like Big KRIT, like when he first came out, I was like a big fan of his mixtapes before he got signed. I was like, yo, this guy is dope. And then his first album came out on Def Jam, and I was like, it's not living up to like the mixtapes. I kind of like didn't listen to him for a bit, but then like I seen an interview and just like you can tell like he had more hunger now.
Yeah.
And like he made that whole album while he was on Def Jam, but on his own money, and Def Jam didn't know that he was making the album.
Really?
And then when he got released, he had this album that Def Jam didn't know about because he paid for all his studio sessions and he paid for all his features and everything.
With
like
no
that.
advances.
With no advances. So like he was saying, he pretty much almost went broke off it.
Yeah.
But like, and it's dope because like he has two sides to it. He has like a big KRIT side, and he has a Justin Scott, and I guess Justin Scott is his government name. He has two sides to like the project.
Yeah.
And it's like a big KRIT side, and then like on those two songs, it's like one's talking to the other.
Oh, word.
Yeah, and it's dope, and just like you can tell like he's just more hungry on this.
Yeah.
It's the hungriest I've ever heard him, and he's dope.
Yeah, I gotta check that, man. I heard a lot of good things.
I've listened to that one.
Another honorable mention too. A lot of people thought Ross had a really dope album.
Yeah.
I like the Birdman disc.
I like that, and then I heard another song that I wasn't really big on.
Yeah.
And then I just didn't. But I heard a lot of.
But
good
Ross
things
has
about
come a long way.
Yeah, it has.
Like from when he first dropped.
Like when I heard the disc, it was.
No,
like,
his
I
first
thought it
album was
good.
incredible.
I got you on dope.
His first album was incredible. Then after that, it kind of got.
He really found his like niche and perfected his craft. There's something I'll say about Ross.
Yeah.
Like I can remember 5 years ago, like when Nas put out his last album, and there was a joint with Ross and shit. Like I used to get disappointed when one of the album features were Rick Ross. I'm like, really, you got Ross on this shit?
Yeah.
But like now, I'm like, okay, you got Ross on this shit. You know what I mean? Like Ross really has like solidified his position.
Definitely.
And aside from that, Wu-Tang did the album. I haven't peeped their whole new album yet, but
Yeah, the whole album produced by Mathematics, which is like the guy that made the Wu-Tang W symbol.
yeah.
And like he's been around since the beginning, and RZA kind of said like he heard some of his production and he was like, hey, like his new production. He's like, why don't you do the new Wu-Tang album? And that's a big.
And a lot of guys.
That's a lot of pressure too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is.
That's huge pressure. Right
And especially after the whole Martin Shkreli thing too, like to get everybody on board, because a lot of people weren't really. Because a lot of people thought that they were doing verses for
Yeah, like a different project. Like someone sold
like
a Silver Rings, right?
Silver Rings.
Yeah.
And then like it became that project, so people got paid their like feature fee, but didn't get a cut of like.
Oh, okay.
The overall like.
$1
$2 million they sold it for.
Exactly, they were paid for the
so
versions
like
operating.
And they thought for a Silver Rings album.
So the backstory of this Wu-Tang album is like, when Mathematics was making a lot of like the early beats, he was on tour with Method Man and Redman. So like this album is probably the Wu-Tang album where you hear Meth the most.
That's
like dope. It's probably like Meth is more on it than anybody else.
And Meth's been killing shit lately.
Yeah. And the only member that isn't on this one is You God.
Really? So JayZ is on it.
JayZ like has one verse. JayZ has one verse. Yeah. But yeah, You God is the only one that's not
really
on it.
They should put You God on there though.
I seen a thing recently, like he was like
somebody, right?
He was suing like
was it RZA or Raekwon?
I think the whole he was suing like the whole Wu-Tang
brand.
Kinda,
Yeah, I knew it was something like that he was suing them and shit,
Yeah.
like for unpaid fees. It might have even been for that fucking shit, like the Silver Ring shit. I don't know.
I don't know the whole thing, but yeah, and then the Redman features on there were dope.
Yeah, because they almost adopted Redman. I heard on this project as like
I seen an interview and like they were asking about it. Like Redman's on there and like RZA's like, yeah, like Redman's like a Wu-Tang cousin.
Yeah.
That's all he really said about it. He was like, yeah, like Redman's like a Wu-Tang cousin. And I thought that was dope. And yeah.
It'd be cool if they made a Wu-Tang Hit Squad album.
Yeah.
If you had EPMD,
that
DOS
was fire.
Effects, Redman, K Solo, and all the Wu-Tang guys, and like they all kind of collaborate on different joints.
Yeah, that would be really dope.
That'd be dope. That would be
Sermon
dope.
produce it all.
Sermon, RZA, some of the Wu-Tang producers, like you get like
all within the camp. Yeah.
I think that would be dope.
Yeah. And then
Sermon is a slept-on producer.
He
let me
is.
say that
I
too.
think he is like one of the most underrated.
Yeah, he's made some fucking fire beats.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And,
Even PMD, because PMD, a lot of people don't realize, produced a lot of the EPMD early shit.
He dropped a project, didn't he?
Hmm?
PMD? Didn't he?
Yeah, he just dropped a project.
Yeah.
PMD,
I
love
didn't check
PMD.
it. I didn't check it. Did you check it?
I haven't peeped it yet, I'm not gonna lie. But I love PMD.
Yeah.
So we got the Davies project. The only thing about that project that kind of like, it was too short.
Yeah.
Why? How many joints was it?
Some of it, but
I think it was only like
tracks.
9 or something like that.
See, I'm bad for that because a lot of times, like I still like to cop CDs and especially vinyl. So, and I've always been more of like a digging the crates kind of guy because I feel like you can find shit in the past that it just resonates with me so much better than shit coming out currently. So a lot of times it takes me a minute to jump on current shit. Like JayZ dropped an album, I had to peep it, you know what I mean? But like a lot of times dudes drop an album and like unless I got that faith in them, I just kind of like I'll peep joints here and there unless it like really
but even like the
gets me going. Then
like, I was saying that's the only knock I give on that project because it had a lot of dope songs. Like, even like, yeah, Dave East has just been killing shit. Like all his
Dave East is dope.
Yeah, he is.
All his East mixes and shit like that. But then like when I heard those, it was like a lot of like rapidy rap bars. But then on the project, it was more like there was like some like song structure.
Yeah.
That's what I was waiting for
stories
him.
And stuff.
That's what I was waiting for him because when I heard all the other ones, I was like, okay, he can borrow like crazy.
The story of how Nas signed him is cool too. Right?
Yeah.
You know that?
Yeah.
Were you the one that told me that story?
I think so.
But like,
yeah,
he went by Jungle's crib or something and seen a piece of paper. He's like, "Yo, this is the dopest shit I ever seen you write."
Yeah.
And Jungle's like, "Oh, my boy wrote that."
This.
He's like, "Who?" He's like, "Dave East." He's like,
Yeah.
"Yo, I need to holler at this guy."
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
But yeah, Dave East is dope, man.
Yeah, and then the Kendrick album, like, to me, this is like album of the year.
Well, you know a whole theory too, right? About how it's supposed to be played both ways.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So you're supposed to listen to it backwards.
And, like, the last song is called Duckworth, which is his last name, and it's about how like his dad worked at like Kendrick's dad worked at a KFC when he was younger, and Top went in there and like he went in there like before that and like Kendrick's dad like hooked him up with like free chicken sometimes, and then Top went in there another time and robbed it, but then like didn't fuck up his dad because his dad gave him some free chicken before and like, but Top was robbing the KFC, and then like years later down the road they meet in the studio because Kendrick invited his dad to the studio, and then they're like, oh shit, you're the like they remembered each other.
Yeah. They
remembered each other, and that's crazy. Like, and then like I like how he named like he did all the songs, and then like thought of the vibe of what this song is, and gave it a one-word title.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool.
That's pretty cool too. Yeah.
And just like I feel like Kendrick is somebody that has like his influences are like West Coast style with East Coast lyricism.
Yeah.
And like I think like, and then what he said about
is like that.
Yeah. And
he's got Kid Capri on the album.
And that's dope. Like all throughout it, like it's the kid. Like it makes you feel like it's a classic vibe with that.
Yeah.
I think like that's what the Kid Capri did to like the project. It made you feel like, yo, did this album really come out in like 2017? Like.
Yeah.
And you're like, yo, this sounds like a fucking like. It almost sounds like I would say like a 92, 93 kind of like album. Like I could see this album being in that time. Like it's dope. And I seen an interview with him, and he was kind of like, and he explained it like his 3 other projects that he had before this. He was like, it's kind of like a mix between the 3.
Yeah.
And when I really thought about it, I was like, it really kind of is like, it's kind of like the best of. He took the best of what people like from this one, what people like from this one, and what people like from this one. And he made this album. And I think he's gonna get the Grammy.
I wouldn't be mad at him if he did.
I think this year's Grammy, I think TDE is going to clean up because in the R&B category, SZA's nominated a lot, and I think TDE is going to clean up on the Grammys this year.
Yeah, he probably will win Best Rap Album.
Cause and JayZ's up for that too.
Or JayZ,
But like you know all this stuff's politics too, right?
Yeah, it is. That's why I say that, and it's like he's.
But they're giving JayZ a big like lifetime achievement award.
Yeah.
Like one of those big huge awards.
So they might give him the album of the year.
So they might give Kendrick the album of the year. Because they're already giving Jay like
the other award.
The big huge award, like the career award.
But it's like Eminem when he just did that other award show. He hasn't put out an album in years.
Yeah, I thought that was weird how they gave him. Yeah.
It's because he went and performed. You know what I mean? And I don't even think that was necessarily on M's side because he doesn't seem like the type of guy to strike me to go be like, I'm
he
not.
He said the thing like he was like, I don't know why they gave him
this
the
is
award.
weird. Yeah, but I think that the establishment is so used to playing ball that way. That when Eminem agreed to perform, they're like, we have to give him Artist of the Year.
Yeah, because I didn't think he
or hip hop.
I didn't think he should have won that year. I can't remember what I think did, but I remember like
he didn't even have an album out.
No,
because that was this year. This like just happened.
Oh really?
And like I don't normally buy R&B albums. Like I think the last one before this year was like about like an R. Kelly one back in the day.
Yeah.
But but I want like I know Chris Brown's like super talented. So I want to check it out, and it was like 45 songs or whatever like that.
Yeah.
And there's some songs like, when I put it out of the house, I'm like, why did I even do this? But then I have it on my phone, and when I'm walking, I'm jamming. It's like, you know how some albums are different for when you're doing different things?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, that album, when I'm walking, I'm right into it. Like, but when I'm at home, I'm just like, eh.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's 45 songs, but there's like, it's funny. The last one I bought was R. Kelly, but my favorite songs on there is the song with R. Kelly.
Word.
Yeah, it's and they sample Juicy, the Juicy Fruit.
Oh yeah.
And it's like Juicy Booty.
Oh god.
But it's fire. It's fire. Like it sounds like it would be corny, but it's like it's fire. And he samples the Wayne Wonder that turn me on, kiss my body. And you know that like old like like when you anytime you go to the ring they're playing it. You know?
I know what song you're talking about. I don't know who the fuck the guy is, but
yeah, he samples that and he does a pretty good version of it.
Word.
So I thought that album was pretty dope.
That's peep that.
I'm not really a big R&B guy.
I like R&B actually.
Like I like R&B on like features sometimes on hooks and shit, but like
I'm very selective
overall
on my R&B.
Overall on R&B, like it's like I gotta be horny for this whole fucking album, like come on, talk about something else, you know, like
yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, I can't listen to a full R&B
album.
album.
I'm not like a huge fan of R&B where I go looking for it, but like I really like R&B music.
Yeah.
Like,
I
lot more so some older R&B too.
A song here, a song there.
Mm-hmm.
But like a whole
like
album,
I'll throw on Bell
like
Biv DeVoe's Poison album and listen to that front to back. I love that shit.
Like if you listen to a whole fucking R&B album and like you don't want to jerk off afterwards, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, and if you just jerked off before and then you want to listen to R&B, it's even weirder.
That's even weirder.
Yo, that's even weirder. Yeah. That's like that meme. It's like when like it shows like the screw face of like when she calls and she wants you to come over after you've already after you've already rubbed one out. It's like no, I ain't coming over now. Like you're late. And then you tell her like yo.
You try to act like it's on.
Yo,
like, nah, man,
and then you tell her with all the things going on this year, you're like, yo, girl, you're ugly.
Yeah, you're ugly.
Because you can't compliment girls nowadays. Like
just crush her confidence.
Yeah.
But like,
no, you end up in fucking court. Like, you know, you say, oh, a girl does her hair up nice and like dyed her hair like, but it looks nice. You can't say that. You'd be like, yo, like, why would you do that to your hair? Because you can't say it's nice nowadays because you know, like you're going to court.
Learn your sexual conduct, right?
Learn your sexual conduct.
Learn your sexual conduct in the workplace.